Okay, students, welcome back. All right, let's go through the answers now. In 1 second, let me just get this in order. Okay. Now, how's the comprehension? Hope you are still happy and cheerful and alive after this. Haha. Okay, come. We'll go through the comprehension as per our usual practice. Okay, let me first go through the questions because that's what I said in the tips column, right? That we'll be going through the questions first. Okay, come, let's go. Okay, let's see who we have here. All right. Okay, so a couple of tips, right, students? Okay, can you all see my comprehension passage? You should be able to see it, right? Yes, I think that should be good. Very good. Thank you so much, Natalie, for your thumbs up. Okay, now a couple of things that we should take note of, students, okay? Yay, my sparkly, sparkly pen. Okay, so remember to read the questions first. I've shared with you why you need to read your questions, right? So that you roughly get a gist of what the comprehension passage is about. Okay, of course, you highlight the keywords, you know, like for example, which word, obviously they're asking you for the word, right? You cannot be giving me a sentence, etc. Okay, take note of the details that the question's asking you for. Of course, we read through the passage and then we zoom in on the keywords that are actually focusing in the question as well as in the passage itself. All right, that being said, we'll go through the questions now, okay? So which word in paragraph 1 over here on the right hand side, yes, students? So which word in paragraph 1 suggests that the moon was of help to Peter? Okay, so the word that they actually tell us probably something to do with friend, right? In that case, state two injuries Peter sustained while trying to escape from the wolf. Okay, so what are the two injuries that he actually suffered? Based on his thoughts, what was he hoping for? Okay, now a couple of things that we look at here, right? How he felt guilty, what made him feel that way. So the cause of the guilt. Okay, and of course, the two parts over here, he was in the forest where a wolf was lurking. Okay, so he heard a tractor approaching. So how he felt at that point of time. Okay, so why did Peter try to climb up? So reason, right? Why did he try to climb up a higher point on the slope? Okay, so of course, the next question, we have the true false, which many of you find very challenging, but we'll go through it later. Okay, so Peter swam in the lake, true or false? The strange buzzing noise came from inside Peter's ears. Okay, and Peter had to yell to get the attention of the driver of the tractor. Okay, so are all these statements true or false? Okay, we put our reasons for that. Okay, students, now we reorder the passage to the next question, right? We have question 7 over there. Okay, right, Peter heard a woman's voice. He heard the howl of a wolf for the second time, and he heard the sound of a tractor. All right, now we have words from the passage, and of course, we are supposed to find the words that they actually refer to at that moment, decision, and it. Okay, we'll look into that specifically later. Okay, which two words, all right, from lines reflect Peter's heightened anxiety? The four words are found in two separate sentences, okay? And what caused Peter to cry even harder later? Support your answer with information from the passage. Okay, now we'll go through the passage first, all right? We'll have different, whoa, okay, so I need to mark this out because clearly there are some paragraphs is only one line. Okay, so this one will be 1 student, 2, 3, whoa, this is long. 4, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we'll get 8 students to read. 8. Let me see, is that all? Ooh. Okay lah, we'll just finish it up. Hang on. 8. And then the student will read all the way to the end. We'll get 8 students, yeah? Okay, so can I get, ooh, I see a double spacing here. Can I get 8 students to volunteer? Okay. I'll just go in order of whoever is raising their hand, okay? Because I don't know whether I'll hit 8 or not. Okay, we'll start with Branson. Okay, we will have Natalie. Okay, we get Victoria. Okay, then 4th one, we get Caden. All right, we get, after Caden, we get, here will be Nan, Dini. Is that Shriram? Okay, never mind. Brenna. Okay, and then we'll get Celine. Anybody else wants to read for me? This is the avocado girl. Anybody else wants to read for me? Okay, those of you who raised your hands already, you can put it down, yeah? Okay, and your names are there already. Anybody else? Gauri? This is kid. Okay, the last one actually, just one more. Anybody? Anybody? If not, I'm just going to read it. Okay, let me just put Gauri down. Okay, now students whose names are up there, are you ready to start reading? I'm going to unmute you already, yeah? Branson, are we ready? Let's go. Branson? What's that, Branson? Branson? I don't know. Branson? Are you there, Branson? Because I can't hear you, sweetie. Branson? 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 Nope. Can't hear anything. Yeah, I think his mic broke. Branson? Branson? Okay, that's it. I can't hear anything. Okay, no, there's another Branson. I'm not quite sure who's who. But it's okay. All right, since it's not reading, I'll read it then. We don't have much time today. Okay, we're quite pressed for time and I want to complete whatever we have to complete. Okay. With the exception of a full moon, the sky was clear. The forest was a maze of darkness. The light from heaven was his only ally, right? Okay. He had walked to the far end of the forest after a quick dip and he felt a sense of dread standing so close to where he had just heard the howling of a lonesome wolf. He steeled himself to move on. He prepared himself to move on, okay? At that moment, he just wanted to reach his goal, go home, and be safe. Okay, Natalie, are we ready? Okay, let's go. Nat, are you ready?
He was soaked to the skin as he hurried along. He recalled that he had sneaked out of his house hours ago to get to the lake. Now he was hit by pangs of guilt for not obeying his mother's instructions not to leave the house without her permission.
Good job. Thank you, Natalie. I like your pace. I like how cool and confident you were. Okay, very good job.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay, you're welcome, sweetheart. Okay, Victoria, are you ready? Where are you? Victoria, you're not here? Okay, Victoria, you just came back in. Vic.
Yes, Miss India?
Hey, ready, sweetie? Your turn.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Suddenly, Peter stumbled. The sharp stones and rough grass stubble scraped his feet. He had to crawl slowly over the rough ground. Even when he crawled, he could not avoid bumping his foot. His ankle had swollen, so it bulged over the side of his flat shoe. He knew he needed help as quickly as possible, and that home was still a distance away. He had also hit his head when he fell over the sharp stones in the forest. Nothing went through that forest again, where he knew wolves lurked. He made a decision. He had to keep moving along. He did not know where he was going, and the nearest house might be miles away.
Thank you, Victoria. That was very good. Okay, you really intonated very well. Okay, keep it up. All right. So, okay, students, I'm just going to keep my comments very brief. Okay, because I just want to focus on comprehension for now. Okay, thank you so much, dear. Now, Kaden, where are you, sweetie? Kaden. Okay. Okay, are we ready? Let's go. Okay then.
Suppose I can't reach your house? Peter wondered aloud. He shuddered. What if I cannot find help and had to spend the night here in the cold, dark forest? He thought.
Wait, let me adjust the page. Okay, carry on.
Finally, Peter felt it was pointless to mull over such questions and persevere in getting home safely.
Okay, thank you. To mull over such questions means to think about such questions, and persevere means he kept on wanting to just focus on getting home safely. All right, thank you, dear. Now, I think, right, this Nandini is actually Sriram. Or maybe I'm wrong. Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that your real name, Sudhi?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, because I got confused. There was another student whose mother, I think, had a similar name. So yeah, sorry about that. Okay, are we ready to read?
Okay.
Okay, you can start.
All of a sudden, there was a very strange buzzing noise in his ears, and he shook his head to clear it. The noise only got worse and became louder. He soon realized it was not inside his head at all. He could really hear it. Somewhere close by was a tractor, and it was coming nearer. There was hope after all.
Okay, thank you, dear. There was really hope. I can hear it in your voice. Okay, thank you. Now, Brenna. B-R-E-N-N. Okay, Brenna. Okay, let's go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Thank you, Siri.
Okay. The terrain was not level and he could not see over the rising ground in front of him, but he yelled until his lungs hurt. He wanted to get the driver's attention, but he had to be louder than the din coming from the tractor. He desperately tried to climb up the slope to a higher point where he could be seen, but it was tough to do so. He could not move fast enough, and before he reached the top, the sound of the engine had stopped.
Thank you, Brenna. Okay, Celine. Where's my avocado go? Oopsie. Celine. Okay. Let's go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, sweetie. Yes. Okay, so students, just 1 second. I have Celine. Okay, students, if you can't hear, right, unplug your earpiece or turn off your mic, right, and then turn it on again, as in the audio speaker. Sorry, right. So turn it off and turn it on. Sometimes you need a reset for these things to work. Okay, thank you, Celine. Come, let's go.
Help! Help! His agonizing cries pierced the silence, but there was no reply. He buried his head in his arms and cried softly. Then he heard a howl again. This time it was nearer. His hair stood on end. He sobbed. What are you doing here in the middle of the night? You shouldn't be here, said a voice. It was like bolt from the blue. Then the woman's voice softened, and she added, Hey, steady on. Tell me what's wrong.
Good job, Celine. Very nicely paced. Okay, keep it up. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, now the last one is she didn't quite volunteer. I volunteered her. So, Gauri, would you like to read for us, sweetie?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can. Are you okay reading for us?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Still sobbing, Peter opened his eyes. Through a blur of tears, he could see level with his nose and a short distance away, a pair of black, large, and very dirty Wellington boots. He thought it was the most beautiful sight he had ever seen. Oh, thank goodness you found me, he said. Peter found that he was crying harder, though now it was with relief. He would be all right now. Here at last, someone who would look after him and take him back to his mother.
Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, now students, we'll go through the answers, okay, which are already there. I'm sure some of you have already seen the answers. Thank you, Gauri. Okay, so which word in paragraph 1 suggests that the moon was of help to Peter? Okay, we're looking at paragraph 1. Anybody wants to volunteer your answers? Just raise your hands. Okay, wait, let me clear everybody for that. Okay, anybody wants to share with me your answers? Your answer in this case. Okay, which word in paragraph 1? Okay, Nandini. So we're looking L. Ally, very good. Okay, so that's a word for friend, basically, right? Usually we use ally for very formal terms, like for example, countries who want to work together, they're called allies with each other. Okay, now state 2 injuries Peter sustained while trying to escape from the wolf. Okay, so what are 2 injuries? Okay, Victoria.
Peter stumbled. Peter hit his head.
Okay, so wait, but sweetie, 2 injuries, you know. So let's look at the passage, okay? Oh, wait, hang on, let me just go down. Okay, so which are the 2 injuries that he suffered? He stumbled is an action. Okay, so you need to take note that this is actually an action. But what are the 2 injuries that he sustained? Okay, oops, what is this? What was the effect of him stumbling? The sharp stones and rough grass stubble what?
His ankle had swollen.
Very good. Okay, so but that's the effect, you know. This is one of them. Okay, so that's the second answer. The first one, scraped his feet. When he stumbled, right, the grass stubs and everything scraped his feet. So that was the first part of the answer. Okay, I'll just label it. Okay, later I'll show you an answer. Okay, this is 2 part 1 and 2 part 2. Okay, so take note of the answers. I'm not going to write it down. Okay, now for question 3. Okay, based on Peter's thoughts in line 17 to 19, what was he hoping for? Okay, let's look at line 17 to 19. Where is it? Okay, that's a good question. Over here. Okay, wait, hang on. I need to mute somebody. Okay, so based on this, right, what was he hoping for? Anybody wants to volunteer your answer if you are aware of it? Anybody wants to volunteer your answer? Okay, nobody wants to volunteer. Okay, so basically, what was he thinking? Right? Okay, wait, let me go down to the passage. Okay, what was he thinking? He needed to find a house, right, that he could actually spend the night in. Here. What if I cannot find help? What if I cannot find help and had to spend the night here in the cold, dark forest? Okay, so because of that, the answer is actually he was hoping to find help to reach a house and not spend a night in the cold, dark forest. Okay, later I'll put in the line numbers for you guys so you can actually find the line numbers, but it's actually from paragraph 3. Okay, now question 4, based on information, right, fill in the blanks, actually like lines 1 to 25, right? It's actually all the way into paragraph 5 by the looks of it, right? Okay, so what are the words that made him feel that way? How Peter felt guilty? What made him feel that way? Does anyone want to volunteer an answer based on whatever you've read? Nobody knows the answer. Really? Why did he feel guilty? Yeah. Because he did not what? Obey his mother's instructions. So this is actually the answer for question 4A. Okay, students, I know the line answers are not there, so it's very difficult for you to pick out the answer, but let's go through it first. I'll put the answers in later when I upload the annotated answer sheet. Okay, now the second part of it, all right, which is, let's have a look. Oops. Okay, so he was in a forest where a wolf was lurking. What was his emotion? He was actually obviously scared, right? Okay, you could see the demonstration of it just now when the students were reading. Okay, and when he heard that the tractor was approaching, he wanted help. So he felt hopeful, right? Just now a student was reading and he demonstrated a lot of hope, right? I remember I made that comment. Okay, now question 5, why did he try to climb up to a higher point on the slope? Okay, let's have a look at that part of the passage. Why did he try to climb up to a higher part of the slope? Here, he desperately tried to come up to a slope where he could be seen, but it was tough to do. So what did he want to do? Who was coming? The tractor, right? He wanted to get the driver's attention. So this is actually question 5. He was hoping to get the driver's attention. That's why he climbed a higher part of the slope. Okay, students? Now, question 6. Now, this is the true false one. It's tricky. Did Peter swim in the lake? Yes, he did. Right, how do we know this? Okay, what did he do? He actually took what? A quick dip. Right, hang on, it's in front. Here. No, here. To get to the lake over here. He wanted to go to the lake, so he actually took a quick dip, right? And his whole entire body was actually cooled down, right? So he was actually basically soaked. Okay, take note of this. Don't worry, we uploaded in the answer sheet later. Just listen to me, okay? The strange buzzing came from inside his ears. Obviously, it's false, right? What did it come from? The oncoming tractor. Okay, and Peter had to yell to get the attention of the driver. That's true. How do we know this? What did he say over here? It's here. Help, help. He had to yell in order to get the attention of the tractor driver because the sound of the tractor was too loud. Okay, students, I think all these make sense, right? It's quite a common sense passage. It's not anything that is too terribly challenging. Okay, now, first things first, okay, he heard the sound of a tractor, right? And then he heard the sound of the howl of the wolf. And then, of course, he heard the woman's voice. Okay, so for those of you who are trying it out, okay? At that moment, what does this refer to? 4 to 5. Which is here. Right, at that moment, what was it referring to when he heard the howling of the lonesome wolf? Because they're asking you at that point of time, right, over here, what the words actually refer to. In that case, the howling of the wolf. Okay, decision for line 15. Which is here. What is this decision they're talking about? To keep moving. He had to keep moving. So this is actually the answer that's relevant to this. Okay, and for the last one, all right, which is it in line 39. Okay, this is a bit challenging. This is line 15, right? Here. What is the it? Will be the pair of dark, black, large, and very dirty Wellington boots. So this is what the it refers to. Okay, students, now we're actually finishing this up. Okay, so bear with me, just 2 more questions. Which words from lines 26 to 31 reflect his heightened anxiety? So obviously it will be desperately and agonizing. Okay, agonizing means in pain, right? Definitely it reflects some sort of anxiety if he's not enjoying himself. Okay, and what caused him to cry even harder? Because what? Let's see, yeah. What caused him to cry even harder? Oh no, this is the oral passage. Even though it's relief, he'll be all right now. Here at last was someone who would look after him and take him back to his mother. So he felt touched that, or he felt very happy that someone will look after him and take him back to his mother. Relieved, and then we have the reason over there. Okay, I'll put in the lines for you so it's easier for you to find the answers, because now I know you got to go and count manually, right, which is a bit challenging. Okay, but that being said, all right, let's go through that. These are the answers already, yeah? Okay, let's go through the oral. Okay, remember for your reading aloud, right, what we're looking at this today, right, we'll be looking at, okay, so let me think about the goal for today. We will look at intonation and we'll look at pace. Okay, pace meaning if it's a long sentence, right, how do we break it up? Okay, now students, let me allocate the passages, yeah? Okay, let's see how many we're looking at. Okay, let me break this up. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 students. Anybody wants to read for me? Okay, we'll get Branson. I don't know whether your mic is working, sweetie. Okay, we'll get Natalie. We'll get Celine. And then we'll get one more, which is Charlene. Okay, we'll get 4 students, all right? Okay, Branson, are we ready? Let me just, how can I move this? Okay, let me try to unmute you again, okay, Branson? Because just now I had some difficulty, right? He's not in. Okay, it's okay. I can't get Branson. So, Victoria, you want to read for him instead?
I am so excited for basketball practice, I exclaimed. Ever since I was a young child, I had loved to play basketball with my friends. That year, to reward me for my dedication to the sport, my mom has signed me up for basketball lessons to improve on my skills. I was ecstatic. I had just left school because I had remedial class, and unfortunately, I had to board the public train during the peak hour. The MRT doors opened, and a crowd of agitated-looking commuters peered out at me, as if daring me to board the train and squeeze into their already tight spaces.
Thank you, Victoria. Okay, so your pace was very good. Okay, but I think that because you were trying to focus on getting the words right? So it sounded a bit unnaturally slow. Because I think normally you're a very quick reader. It's not quick, but you're a very strong reader rather. So you are able to actually pronounce the words and you're able to move the flow. Like just now when you did read for the comprehension passage, right? I thought that was a lot more natural. This one sounds a bit stiffer. Okay, and just something to take note of, this word is actually agitated, right? So agitated is obviously very frustrated sort of commuters, okay, in this case, because they were waiting for the crowd to subside and they're waiting to get on board the MRT train, right? Okay, so just something to take note of. But your pace was actually very good. Okay, your intonation was actually okay as well. Just try to be more natural. Okay, no need to force yourself. All right, thank you, dear. Now, Natalie. Okay, Nat, are you ready?
Miss Indra, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Thank you.
Ignoring their looks, I boarded the train and we were about to reach the first stop after departing from the train station when all of a sudden a loud screech filled the air. All the passengers around me were flung backwards, with yells of pain being heard from all around.
Thank you, Natalie. Okay, that was very pleasant and very sweet. Okay, keep up with the nice pace and the comfortable reading, I would say.
Thank
Okay,
you, Miss Indra.
you're welcome, sweetheart. Okay, Celine. Oopsie, I think I just unmuted somebody. Celine.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, thank God. I thought I unmuted somebody else. Okay, yes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let me just push this up a bit. Yep. Okay, let's go.
The train came to an abrupt stop, and everyone around me fell down like dominoes. For half a second, I thought that it had just been a train breakdown, but I was wrong. The sound of shattering glass echoed throughout the train. Within moments, the sound of ear-shattering cries filled the room. It echoed throughout the room, and while everyone could hear it, no one bothered to step forward to find out the source.
Thank you, sweetie. Okay, so just take note, yeah? Okay, this is abrupt, right? Because I think when we read it just now, perhaps I think we said something along the I don't know what we said, but it wasn't quite abrupt. So just take note of this word, okay? Other than that, I think how you read this part here was also quite good. The sound of ear-shattering cries filled the room. So you could actually, you demonstrated the sort of anxiety, the sort of nervousness that people will feel when they actually read this portion of the text, which is great. Okay, keep it up. All right, Celine. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, Charlene. With the smiley face. Okay, Charlene, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Several minutes later, I heard the thumping of footsteps resounding throughout the train. "We are being saved," I exclaimed. But right there and then, I thought rushed into my head. A bang of shock went through me as I realized the entire time I was occupied. I had completely forgotten about basketball training. I re-envisioned my coach waiting all this time at the basketball court and tapping his watch impatiently. I had missed my first basketball lesson, and while I was filled with disappointment, consoled myself that I had helped someone during an unpleasant journey.
Thank you, Siri. Okay, just a couple of things to take note of before I tell you the actual source of this passage. Okay, now okay, so I think actually maybe because it was quite a last minute thing that I sort of like selected you, right, based on, you know, we didn't really have that many volunteers for this piece. So maybe what I'd like you to do is next time when you're reading, right, okay, be more familiar with the text, you know, try to read through it a couple more times, especially if you have the opportunity to. Maybe today you didn't. All right, but in future, just be like be a little bit more fluent, because now I think because of all the unfamiliarity that you have, right, it's causing a lot of like hesitation and, you know, sort of like little misreadings here and there, but that can be easily overcome. It's not an issue. Okay, so just take note. All right, and then a thought rushed into my head, a pang of shock, right? Pang, P, right? So pang of shock. Okay, I envisioned my coach waiting all this time at the basketball court and tapping his watch impatiently. So if you want to like sort of really emphasize on how he's like tapping, and I'm tapping and my hand is hurting, because I envisioned my coach waiting all this time at the basketball court and tapping his watch impatiently. So when you sort of like read a little bit more quickly, it sort of like gives rise to the emotion, like feeling very anxious, like, you know, basically, why are you so late, you know, that kind of emotion. Okay, now I missed my first basketball lesson, and while I was filled with disappointment, consoled myself that I helped someone during an unpleasant journey. Actually, this is taken from a student who wrote this for her primary 6 essay. So I try to mix and match a couple of passages that I think, you know, it'll be good for you guys to learn, you know, some sort of content and language from. So not necessarily, you know, you'll be given only just oral passages, because I mean, we all can learn from different mediums and different modes of text, right? Okay, so do take note that this could be, for example, an unfortunate or unpleasant day, an unpleasant situation, something along those lines. So you can use the content for this. All right, students. Now, that being said, let's go on with our spoken interaction, our stimulus-based conversation, right? Of course, you study the picture, you identify the theme, think of appropriate vocab words, of course, the questions, and relate your personal questions to the theme. Okay, so just based on these two pictures, right? So have you ever been on a road trip before? Now, can you just share with me what you think a road trip is, if you have any idea? Now, I'll just call for volunteers, yeah? So anybody want to share with me what you think a road trip is? Anybody? Nobody knows. Okay, so a road trip is when you actually like travel by road to like countries. Okay, so what happened was last year, actually, I went to New Zealand, right? So at the end of the year, it wasn't really quite a road trip. We were living in, my friend and I, we were living in like a Airbnb kind of like a accommodation, right? So, but what happened is we didn't stay at an accommodation for more than 2 nights. Actually, it was just mainly like 2 nights, then we move, right? So it's not really a road trip because we weren't really living on the road, right? But we sort of like drove from place to place, because I mean, like countries like New Zealand, Australia, you know, Europe, right, you can drive between the different cities, right? Okay, so it's conducive for that, simply because the whole city is so big, right? Like for each journey that we took from like accommodation to accommodation, it's like easily about 400 to 500 kilometers, and it's a crazy drive. I tell you, each drive is easily about 4 to 5 hours, and it's absolutely exhausting. I can remember, so I drove for the first half, the first half, and then we would stop for coffee, and then my friend took over the second half. It's really very tiring, especially if it's like 200 kilometers per person. You know, Singapore, the maximum I've ever driven in Singapore, which is like not very big, right, is only 130. Wait, hang on. I was traveling to IE, so about 135, I think, kilometers, 135 to 140, which is quite a lot already, right? I mean, Singapore is a small island. How many times can I go round and round and round to achieve that, right? Okay, so yeah, that was actually, and that being said, I drive on a daily basis, right? So can you imagine, I went to New Zealand, after every drive, I was like flat out. When he took over, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sleep. Okay, but that being said, that's what a road trip is. You travel on the road, right? Okay, to explore different parts of the country for that matter. Okay, so since none of you can have any thoughts or maybe experiences, right? Let me just share with you. Okay, so yes, I've been on a road trip before. Okay, so this one is just something that I think most of you would have gone to, right? Maybe like a Malaysia trip, right? So your Oreo format, remember? Give me your opinion. Yes, I've been on a road trip, right? Reason for your answer, obviously, right? So my family and I recently went on a road trip to Malaysia. Okay, then you're sharing me where during the March holidays, so a short trip as I am taking my PSLE this year, and my parents wanted to go for a short holiday just to give us a break for a few days. Okay, so this students has been written, right? Okay, with you guys in mind. Okay, so I'm taking the persona of a primary 6 student, primary 5, primary 6 student. Okay, now then you give me an example, right? So even though it was a short trip, or you elaborate a little bit more, right? Okay, we had a lot of fun. We traveled from Singapore to Johor Bahru for shopping and proceeded to Malacca for cheap and delicious food. Oh my goodness, I love the food in Malacca. You know, I don't know whether you've heard of it, but there's this thing called satay. I think it's called satay chilok. Like, you know, it's super gross, right? Actually, because like everybody sits around the table and then you have like that pot of like hot piping satay sauce. It's quite gross, really. Okay, now COVID, I think nobody's gonna go for it. So what happens if you get the sticks of like meat, right? Okay, meat or something vegetable, and you just dunk it into the thing and just eat it out. Okay, so this was disclaimer. This was when I was like, I think lower primary. Oh, those were the days. It's really very fun. You just take the car over the December or the June holidays and you just drive to Malacca. And Malacca is like food paradise, and ringgit is always, in our favor, right? We always have a stronger currency. So yeah, it's just super, super fun. Fat hope now. Can't even step out of the house. Anyway, okay, so just to summarize, right, I really enjoyed the road trip to Malaysia and hope that my family will be able to do such trips in the future. So when you want to sort of like emphasize your overall stand, you can express your hope for the future as well. Okay, wishes or some lessons that you've learned, etc. Okay, now second question. So do you think it is important to put on seatbelts when we are traveling on a moving vehicle? Duh, but we don't do it like duh. Okay, yeah, so okay, why or why not? Yes, I know, students, okay, it is a chore. So what happens for my car, right, when I drive? And okay, so I think last time I was a lot lighter. So when someone else drove, right, I can like move my butt so that the seat doesn't sense my weight. But now because I'm driving and I'm planted smack in the middle, obviously I can't be like slanted and driving, right? That's a bit weird. Okay, so yeah, it senses my weight, and every time I don't put on the seatbelt, it just goes beep, 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 and I'm like, hello, annoying much. Yeah, but this is actually what happened. So it is, okay, for that matter, right, don't even talk about how annoying the alarm system is, right? Okay, it is actually important for us to put on seatbelts, because there was this time, okay, so sorry again, right? So there was this time actually, I wrote about this. I don't think it's for this one, but yeah, I wrote about this. So there was this time when I was in primary 3, I remember what happened. I was traveling around Thomson Road, which is near Novena. Right, and we were just passing, we were coming to a junction. Okay, so this was the junction, right? And then here was the crossroad, right? So this side will actually turn right and join us, correct? So what happened is we were green light, right? My father was driving, and then what happened is this guy, don't know why, just lost control, and I was just supposed to brake. But I think there was the green our side, we were just green changing or something along those lines. So he just turned right and he hit us. I don't know why. So what happened is my mom, who was sitting in front, right, if she hadn't buckled her seatbelt, okay, she would have like literally, right, just like, the impact was so great that she was just lifted off the seat. Okay, and I at the back just blur sotong, right, just sleeping at every car ride. So I sleep on every car ride I get into, right? I mean, except if I'm driving now, of course. So yeah, I just like, woke up like I was concussed complete. Like, because I was young, right? Like primary 3. So I was young. Obviously, the impact shocked me and just put me into like a state of, I don't know, I don't even know what it's called, right? So that was what happened. So from then on, actually, it is very important. And I think from those years on, the traffic police actually made it compulsory for all of us to put on seatbelts simply because of such incidents, right? The impact of accidents will not hit you directly, it doesn't have to hit you directly. It's because the impact of the vehicle, right, just jolt you up, right? And because of that, like, you can injure your spine, etc., that kind of thing. So that is actually very tricky. So this is something that we should take note of, okay? Putting on seatbelts, actually. Okay, so yes, it is definitely important to put on seatbelts when we're traveling on a moving vehicle. It's not only in cars, actually. You think about it, buses, aeroplanes, right? You realize that this is a huge thing, that like the stewardesses and all the stewards will just walk around to check that, all your seatbelts are buckled, simply because you can never imagine how detrimental the impact of like anything happening, right? It's not so much of like knocking you face front, no, but every other part of you. Okay, so I remember this was exactly the situation, right? Okay, my parents and I were traveling and the car was trying to beat the red light, came crashed towards us and knocked us from the side. Okay, so mother and I were seated at the back. No, actually, if I remember correctly, I think it was somebody else. I don't think it was my mother, but something along those lines. Okay, somebody sat and then I was concussed. I actually had a baluku, right? Yeah, I actually had a bruise, basically, right? Because I was so short, no? And then I literally flew, right? Because I don't know, the impact was so great. And I was quite light also. I mean, at primary 3, how big can you be, right? So thankfully, I was wearing my seatbelt. If not, the injuries could be a lot worse. Right? I could have been easily flung out. I mean, not flung out of the car door because it wasn't, I can't remember if it was open, to be honest. But yeah, this was actually quite a severe impact. Okay, so I believe that seatbelts are meant to protect us during times of emergency. Hence, even though it may be uncomfortable to wear them, we should wear them at all times. Okay, it is definitely uncomfortable, right? Because it's like restraining us, correct? Okay, so would you like to learn driving? Oh yes, hell yes. Okay, when you are of legal age, why not? Okay, students, I know many of you will have an opinion, okay, but let's just go. Yes, I would. Okay, so assuming I'm your age, right, I would love to, and I'm looking forward to it. So back then, I remember every time my father drove, I would just imitate, like last time when I could sit in front, that was like the happiest moments of my life, I was so deprived, I think that's the word, right? You sit in front, you watch your father drive, and then you're like, follow him, and then, he does the one hand thing, and you think it's like super cool. And then I can't do the right hand. I can't do one hand for my right hand. I'm right-handed, but I only can do the one hand thing for my left hand. I don't know why. So I always think it's so cool when guys, especially it's mostly guys, can just do that one hand thing, and I'm like, I want to learn how to do it. I just don't know how to do it. Okay, anyway, I sidetrack. Right, story of my life at my age. So I'm always excited whenever I get into the car and watch my father drive. Okay, in my opinion, he drives much better than my mother. And I aspire to drive like him. Yeah, because women generally tend to be very kanchong, right? So they tend to be very easily anxious, and the moment they get, it's like, oh my gosh, I cannot tahan, I cannot take it. It's just. But anyway. Also, if I can drive, right? Basically, this is why I wanted to drive. Because last time we went for a lot of weddings, back then, okay, because my cousins are a lot older. My father is the eldest, right? And I'm the youngest grandchild, right? Because he married late, etc. So all my other cousins were like easily 10 years older than me. So if I was 9, they were like 19. Okay, well, plus a few more years, of course. Okay, they got married and then, went for functions. And obviously in Singapore, I mean, everywhere around the world, you can't drink and drive, right? So back then, I remember my mom hated to drive because my father would just keep commenting on how she drove, right? So I would like to drive actually. So yeah, we are not allowed to drink and drive. So if I could drive, which is why I wanted, right, I can help my father out and drive us back home whenever these occasions happen. Okay, then of course, like I said, right, okay, you express hope, so I cannot wait to start learning how to drive. It seems like such a fun and exciting activity. It is fun actually, except when you get speed tickets. But other than that, yeah, it's actually it's fun, I think. I mean, okay, so there are two trains of thought, right? Some people enjoy driving, some people don't. So I fall into the category that enjoys driving. I don't know about how your parents feel, but yeah, that's a ton of fun for me actually. It's like very therapeutic, especially if you can drive long distances, right? You just listen to some music, chill out a bit, open the wind, have the wind in. Nowadays there's not much wind because it's so humid, right? But if there was wind, then it's actually very, very nice and soothing. Okay, so just to repeat the tips again, students, okay, remember Oreo format, give me your opinion. Okay, give me a reason, explain, which is actually giving me an example, right? Okay, and of course, repeat your overall step. Okay, now, before we end, right, okay, yes, medium time again. Okay, so now we have the quote, right, okay? Stop worrying about the potholes in the road and enjoy the journey. I think this is very, very apt, especially for those primary sixers who are doing a PSLE this year. Potholes are basically little holes that, that might happen, like, for all those troubles, all those nasty situations that you may come across. Don't worry about them. All these nasty situations will pass. Try as much as possible to enjoy your journey, students. Okay, so before we end off, let me just share a few. Okay, so my PSLE experience. Okay, so as you all know, I was from Rosyth, right? If you don't know, yeah, I was from Rosyth. Okay, so I remember doing it quite badly for my exams. Like, I remember for up until my mid-year paper, right, I wasn't doing very well. Like, I got if I'm not wrong, I think my math. Okay, so my math was like bad, right? I think I got like 53 or something like that. And at mid-year, it's like everybody's like, oh my God, are you going to make it in that kind of thing, right? But Chinese was equally bad. So only my language, my English and my science was okay lah. I mean, I won't say it's the best, but it's okay. So yeah, so I remember I went for a very intensive Chinese program in June that year, like every single day, right? I went for 1.5 hours of paper 1, which is your composition, and 1.5 hours for your paper 2, right? So I remember, oh my goodness, I felt so, I don't know, man. I think not only me, my parents as well, they were like, she better score, man, she better score. If not, our transport, because every day my dad would send me actually. So my dad semi-retired that year just to ferry me around for all my tuitions, right? Tell you, primary 6 is like the year either you make it or you break it, really. Okay, so so mid-year I got like 53, right? And I think my Chinese I got 60 something, if not 50 plus or so. I really can't remember the grade. So what happened for my prelims, right? Okay, so okay. I think my prelims, my math probably improved. I probably got like 60 plus, that kind of thing. You see, I was a honestly student, okay, don't learn from me. Really take it from me, okay? Start studying now because I'm the last minute kind, simply because I am just not wired that way. I'm very last minute, and I was quite unfortunate in a way because my mother had appendicitis, right, just 1 week before the PSLE. So what happened is she was awarded in hospital, and of course there's nobody to guide me because back then, I mean, tuition teachers can only take you so far, right? They won't take you all the way to the exams, right? So she was actually the one guiding me mainly for all my like English, math. So she was ill. She was in hospital. She went for operation. My dad was like, oh my gosh, this is like gone, like gone, seriously. But I did put in effort for my prelims. So I remember for my prelims, my Chinese went all the way up to 85. I took Chinese, right? So my Chinese went all the way up to 85. I think my math was about 80 as well, right? I studied relatively hard for my prelims, and the papers was quite tough. You should know that exam papers at prelims are a lot harder, right? And I think Rosyth has its reputation of a relatively hard math paper. Okay, so yeah, that was then. And eventually for my PSLE, use this as motivation, students. Okay, really just use this as a motivation, right? PSLE, I got A stars for English, math, and Chinese actually. So I was extremely blessed, right? I really don't know how I managed to do it, but that's why I'm telling you, students, okay, just keep working, right? Don't care about you. You realize I've got a lot of potholes, right? I told you like 53, didn't quite make it. My mom fell ill, went for operation, right? All these sort of things, really, it is not within our control. Okay, take it from me when I say, enjoy the journey, just do your best. Okay, and at the end of the day, when you're just sitting for your exams, your reward, right, will be the results that you see. Trust me on that. I wouldn't kid you. Mr. doesn't, bull ass about this kind of thing. It doesn't work that way for me. Okay, so I hope that my story motivates you who are going to do your exams, start studying. I know I get some texts from a few of you, saying you're very nervous, you're saying that, you feel that you can't accomplish much, you're quite useless, Don't think that way. I could have felt that way, seriously, right? So focus on what you can do and your strengths, okay? Work on your weaknesses. Don't be afraid of them, because at the end of the day, if you face your weakness during your exam, you're just going to bash yourself up for not practicing them earlier. You get what I mean? Okay, so if you need to talk to anybody at any point in time, of course, please do your work also, right? Don't text me and say, Miss Indra, I feel like I'm not going to do well, and then you never study also on your part. Come on, okay, students, we should be a little bit more hardworking and be more realistic, right, in that way. Okay, so with that being said, I hope my story inspires you. I hope that you take it with you, okay, and you remember my story, right? Because if I can do it, I genuinely believe that all of you can. Simply put. Okay, now that being said, we've actually come to the end of our lesson for today. Okay, I hope you've learned something. All right, I will edit up my annotated answers and I will put it up by tomorrow or the day after latest. Okay, so go and have an awesome dinner. Enjoy yourselves. Okay, take good care of yourselves. And when you're in school, stay safe. We're resuming full school by the end of the month, right? Okay, so that being said, just text us if you need any help. For those of you just want listening here, Miss Indra can talk, but she just can listen, okay? All right, and I will do my best with whatever I can do for you, as long as you also put in the effort. All right, students, okay, go for your break. Oh, no, not go for a break, but go for your dinner and take care of yourselves. I will see you the next time around. Okay? Bye.